Hello, welcome once again to Esoteric Cloud Surfer YouTube channel. In this channel we take or we create our own esoteric cloud, which is a lighter, less dense and also on a higher frequency and vibration vehicle or body that our spirit can go into and then go explore. Also, in correlation to the vehicle that we created or we took possession of, we travel to more expanded, more light, less dense, and realms that are vibing on a higher frequency as well. So we can have more expanded, lighter, and with more information in a less amount of time, experiences, feelings, and ideas. And then we use that wherever as we like. So today, in this esoteric surfing, I'm going to talk about to you the nine dimensions. All right, and I've seen a lot, not a lot, but I know that there are a lot of videos out there talking about the internet, talking about the dimensions, and that there are a lot of dimensions, that we live on a multiverse, and that our universe is one inside of many. Well, that's the other way around. There is only one universe, but there is a lot of multiverses. I'm my own verse, I'm my own frequency and vibration, because here, on physical reality, the best representation for frequency and vibration is sound. So it's my voice, my verse, and your verse. It's a multiverse, and when we come together, we create a universe. So that's not the right angle, that's not the right perspective, that's not the right angel to be praying to in order to understand the nine dimensions. And why there are only nine dimensions? First, because we only created or experiencing those. And then because are only nine numbers, only nine principal ways, spaces that we experience as spirits. The other numbers, the other dimensions, are the juxtaposition, the alignment of any of the main nine dimensions. For an example, the number 19th is the juxtaposition, is the conjunction, is the interaction, is the number one, the one dimension, and the ninth dimension having sex, coming together. Alright? So, nine dimensions. What are the nine dimensions? The nine dimensions, as I perceive it, as I like to talk about it, as I like to see it, is the way, the path, the spaces, or the ways that our spirits created and / experienced before we were on physical bodies. And the creation of those physical bodies are dimensions, because dimensions is about size, is about expansion, contraction. The ninth dimension is more expanded, is bigger, it's higher, because it's in a higher frequency and vibration than perhaps the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is less expanded or more contracted than the ninth dimension. So it's a matter about perspective. In the ninth dimension, you are able to perceive more things in more different possible ways. On the fourth dimension, you are more focused, you are more concentrated, contracted from the same frequency and vibration. You see what I'm saying? So it's a matter of perception of how much and what much can you perceive from a determinate point in space, because we are spaces traveling. We are spaces, that's a new word to speak faster. We are traveling another spaces, alright? My space is inside a bigger space, and inside my space there are smaller spaces, okay? So, to be clear, the nine dimensions is the process, the experiences that led into our spirits creating these physical bodies and the things inside of it as well. Okay? So, first thing, I just really wanted to clear that out, but I think I got it. I don't feel that I got it, but I think that I got it. I hope I'm right. And with the course of the video, I will get better with my expression about it, right? So, I had a plan for this video, right? But sometimes plans just make things worse. But I'm following my plan. So, the first dimension is actually the ninth dimension. Here in Portugal, we have a saying that is os primeiros são os últimos. The first are the last. Because we call the first dimension the dimension that it's actually the last, the most dense, the most focused, the most concentrated, the most heavy. All right. So, and to all help me explain you and me as well why the ninth dimension is the first. I have the whiteboard, my friend white and pink board, which its own white and pink pen. So, first you already know, and if you don't know, I'm remembering you that you are just your space. You are your spirit, no thing, no shape and form, and then you create things. You are a creator, all right? So you created with me and with your soul group. You created all of this that we are experiencing right now, all right? So before all of it, before all the feelings, before all of the thoughts, we were just spirits. And we were no thing, no shape or form, so we didn't have mass. We didn't weighted, we didn't have frequency and vibration. Nothing. We were just a space. Right? And then comes wait, I'm a bit you were just your spirit. Then you created a first light. You created a first awareness. You became aware of yourself. You now know that you are a spirit. And you know that you are an individual space. Okay? And you create your first thought and first feeling, aka first light, aka first desire, aka first high. That first feeling was so good. That first thought was so good. It's like the first time you smoke weed, the first time you drink. You will never get it again. You can get very close, but you can never get it again. And as spirits, we are trying to experience that first high again. But that's lostness. You can create new ones, but you can't go back to that one. That's already done, already experienced. But you can create a new first high of something else. Alright? You can create everything. Don't worry about it. And we as spirits are trying to experience. Right? So we create things to experience. And that's the ninth dimension. The first awareness and the first thought. And this is the higher, less dense, lighter dimension, because there is nothing else that we have created, that we have attached to give more mass, to give more weight, to give more density to your space. Now it's just your space and your first light. Your first light, your first thought, your first feeling, your first desire. Just that. So in this dimension, in the ninth dimension, it's so light and non-dense that shapes and forms that we create, there, they don't last near any time. So we can't fully have an experience there. But that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to create shapes and forms on the ninth dimension for we experiencing that lightness, because you as a spirit you can't experience, because you are already your spirit, you are already your space. So you need to create things for you to go in and you experience those things. Either they are yours or they are others' spirits' creations. That's how we communicate, that's how we have sex, that's how we create new things. So we are trying to create shapes and forms that can maintain themselves on such a higher and fast-paced frequency and vibration, the ninth dimension, also known as birth, because that's where we are birthed there, because we create our first experience. Yes, we create our first awareness of ourselves, we create our first awareness, we create our first light, we create our first desire, right? That's why it's the first dimension, it's the first perspective, the first angle, the first angel, the first everything, the first thing, right? So, we are trying to do as spirits is create vehicles or vessels in the ninth, eighth and seventh dimension. Because these are in groups of threes. We started because we were already spirits before that, but we became aware that we were spirits after it. Obvious. We started our journey as spirits who didn't create shapes and forms to represent ourselves in this dimension. And we are trying to go back, which is actually going forward, because we are going to a more liberated, we are going to a more expanded, to a more light and less dense frequency and vibration. So we can create things in our image and change them as fast as in any way that we want. But notice that we have awareness and chakras in every dimension. But in the ninth, we can keep it for very long. So we don't know how to do that. But we want to go and experience there because it's a more free, it's a more expanded, it's a more light frequency and vibration. There, you can create a shape and form. It's pink. But then you can change to an orange. And then you go back to the pink. And then now you black. Like very fast. There is no rules. There is no time. There is no density. You don't need to wait. You don't need to do something first. You can do it whatever and however you like to do things in the ninth dimension. But we still don't know how to do it. That's what we're doing as spirits. Okay? Right now, there are only one feeling, feminine, and one thought, masculine, in the ninth dimension. Some religious peoples call them Adam or Atom because they work for the both sides, for the religions and for the atheists, but no, that's not for now. And Lilith, the mother of all monsters, aka the mother of all desires, because that was the first desire. And from the first desire, as I'm going to explain you, we create other desires, and then others, more lower, denser, higher, scarier. And how low in terms of frequency and vibration you go, more time you need to change. You need more time to change. You need to go through more process in order to change your vehicles, in order to die, right? Until you reach the inverted ninth dimension, which I'm going to talk about later. So right now there is only one thought and one feeling in the ninth dimension. That's because in order to experience in the ninth dimension, you need to be able, that is, have the energy and the know-how to create a Metatron star. This name doesn't matter, because That's a name we give to that. The name is not that. That everybody can do that. But that's the name that I've seen Dolo and others, spirits, other persons, other people talk about it. So I don't have a better name to call it, but I know what it is. It's not a Metatron star, it's something. AKA, what is a Metatron star? Is a vehicle, a shape and form, a vessel, a body, something that can contain a lot of thoughts and feelings in the same container. Also, how smaller the container, the better. It contains more energy because you need to create the container as well. So if you create a big container, you use the substance and the energy to create that big container, and then you can't contain anything else because you exalted yourself in constructing such a big container. AKA a shape and form that maintains itself, but it's also always changing. And it changes so fast and so well that it appears to be the same. That's what scientists call quantic particles. Particles that are in two spaces at the same time. Particles that are two things at the same time. Particles in quantic computers, instead of you having 0 and 1, or no, instead of you having 0 or 1, you have 0 and 1 on the same space. That's a Metatron star. A star that can maintain its image, but it's always changing. So how can something maintain an image while being always changing? That's the trick. Knowing how to be feminine and masculine at the same time. Knowing how to be spiritual and physical at the same time. Knowing how to be rude and nice at the same time. Know how to be strong and weak at the same time. Know how to be vulnerable and closed at the same time. Keeping a certain image while changing. And that's the fast change, the fast process of change is what gives the appearance. Yeah, that's it's. Sometimes I think and talk so much inside that then outside it gets nothing. But like when the car is moving so fast and the wheel seems it's stopped, but it's actually moving very fast, it's kind of like that. But that's it, the 9th dimension. In the 8th dimension, we spent a lot of time experiencing the first light. Okay? And the first light or desire that we created. We experience it so much that it feels infinite. That's why the 8. Oh no. I have a backup. The 8, the number 8, is just the infinite symbol. Or the other way around. 8, infinite, 8, infinite. So from every perspective, it's an infinite. Because you don't know how to experience anything else now in this state of your journey. Because you only have created one awareness. You only have created your first light. So you get stuck in that. Oh shit. Hold on. That's not going right. The alcohol smell is strong from this pen. I think I'm getting drunk. So, 9th dimension, 8th dimension. You spend a lot of time experiencing the first light that you created here. Okay? But it seems infinite, but it's not. We are infinite. My spirit is infinite. My spirit didn't start it. And what has no start can't have no end. That's a quote from Tales of Demons and Gods. Excellent manga, if you are interested. And here we learn or we are able to learn that we create our own circumstances and that they are not infinite, that we are infinite, and that we can also break and separate from them in the seventh dimension. I have to. I'm sorry, guys. When there is so much things on my mind, it's hard to break them down, but I can. So in the seventh dimension, you were here on this space and you separated totally. You did a 90-degree angle. You just separated from that light. All right? The seventh dimension is when we separated, and seven, separated, seven, severe the ties, severe the connection, separation, 7 degrees of separation. We separated from our original desire. And we can also receive a message, aka realize how to not get stuck on that infinite loop again. On that, because you can definitely get lost on other lights, alright? But that's the seventh dimension, is when you separate from your eighth dimension, from your experiencing to here. Oh, also, let me... Yeah. Here, ninth dimension, it has no density, it has no weight, it has no mass. Here, very dense, because we are always creating. When you create your first light and you go to your eighth dimension, you are still creating every time. And that's why you get stuck, you get tired of this, because you created so much that it's not like a hell. It's too many creations, too many things. You are tired of experiencing that. So you separate from it. And you reach the sixth dimension. Do you see how the numbers correlate? And here I can make a better job for the ninth dimension, and also I'm going to draw smaller, otherwise I will not have any space. Because original idea, original feeling, original shape, original desire. You go lower. That's a 9. Because now you are creating more than that. Because as a spirit you are always creating. We still don't know how to destroy. Because in order to destroy something, we create other things that will destroy that thing. But in the end of the day, we destroyed something, but we created something to destroy it. So the number of things around us, it's the same. Because we destroyed something, but the thing that we created to destroy that, it's still around. And the sustenance of the thing that we destroyed is still around. So we create even more. We don't know how to destroy yet. But yeah, 9, you see, it's the number 9, really. It's the number 9. And then you start to experiencing that from one side and from another side. That's like you had 1 and now you see other possibilities. That's the 8 symbol as well, but I'm gonna do it better. I'm do like the infinite so you can understand but really is the 8th dimension, and the number 8 and Saturn. And it's like you go up and down, you go up and down, up and down, you go up and down. I wish I could draw like this, but sometimes I can't. You go up and down, left to right with your original light, with your original vehicle, up and down, left and right, always experiencing that, always. And then you get tired of it, and you just separate, you make the 7, and then you make the 6, which is you reach another space. That's where the lostness starts. Because up here, it's birth. In the 9th, 8th, and 7th dimension, it's birth. Birth. It's very light. Creation, that's it. And you getting to know your creations. Then, on the 6th dimension, it's life. Now, you're experiencing light. Life, light. In general. Not your own, unique, first creation, first light. No. Now, you get lost with the rest of the gang. Oh yeah. Now you get access to all other lights, all other spirits that are lost into their own desires, all realities, all realms, all possibilities, but lost. And the 6, that's the number 6, or the letter G. I'm not very good with my hands. I mean, I am, but not in writing or drawing in a specific way. I think I'm good. Forget it. But it's because you descended from your original. Again, you were on the 8th, you got tired from it, you separated, and now you reach a new space, a new light, and you are focusing on it. The 6th dimension is when the lostness starts. After you separated from your original light and desire, you spent so much time in it on the 8th dimension that it became very dense and heavy. And now you are, because we are always creating, that's why it's heavy, you are in a heavy light, seeing and following other spirits' lights. Also because you just came from your original thought and feelings. In comparison to the other lost spirits, your light is more shiny and light as in weight than the other spirits who are on the 6th, 5th and 4th, aka purgatory dimensions for a longer time than you, so their lights are heavier than yours. So you are very attractive to them. They want to follow you. They want to go to your lighter space. They want to go to your cooler spaceship. So, to them, you are very attractive, and you are right in the middle, because 369 is the ruler. I will point that out. And 6 is in the middle of the 3, of the 6 and the 9. It's right in the middle, because in comparison to yourself, you are on a denser light. In comparison to other lost spirits, you are on a lighter light than theirs. Because you just separated from your original lighter, less dense desire. That's the 6th dimension. Because you are in a light that is heavier and more dense than to you, but to the others, to the other lost spirits, it's lighter and less dense. Then, you separate again from that light. And you create something like this. Because you separate, and you go in, and you go out again. Because you went in, because you start to feel this pattern now. You start to feel this routine. You start to feel this field. Feel, they come from the same root. So you separate from it. You learn, as you learned. This is the number 7, if you don't understand. Here is the number 7, this connection. And now it's the number 5. It's the 5th dimension. In the 5th dimension, you start to feel, aka fell, going down, for other spirits, lights. So you create feelings, emotions, and heavier light bodies, your first chakras. And you also the closer to the 9th dimension, the more expansion it is. The further away, the less expansion it is. So it's like reverse. Less density equals to more expansion. More density equals to less expansion. And that's gravity for y'all. Really simple, that's gravity. There are no gravity, because according to scientists, gravitons create gravity. What the fuck though? Who creates gravitons? No, it's density. Density attracts. So, the lower you go, you get more concentrated to the spirits around you. And that here, it's where it got tricky for me to understand and to explain it, but I really feel excited when I try to explain this. But I will need something else. Yeah, I can try it on here. Because I think I can. Hold on. This is the general space. Just a general space, because I cannot represent the infinite space on a finite board, right? And let's say that this is the 9th dimension. No, the 6th. I cannot represent the 9th. The spirits, it's less dense, so there is more expansion, so the spirits are further away. But the 5th dimension, which is inside, you see it's more focused, is more contracted than the 6th. That's a 5. So the spirits are closer to each other. So the lights that they send, they interact with each other. That's why you feel, you fell with others, you feel for others, you fell with others. That reminds me of that game, Fall Guys. The guys just fell. That's we create emotions, feelings, our first light bodies, our first chakras. Because we are so close together now, it's so concentrated, it's so dense in comparison to the 9th dimension, right? That we, by default, we don't have choice. We are so close together that we start to feel and interact with each other. Also, 6 is sex. That's why I say the lostness begins here. Because now we have access to all of the other lights, of the other spirits' lights. And it's not, you don't choose. You just interact with it. Sometimes we even like to go follow it. Alright? So, the less dense, the more expanded. The more dense it is, less expanded it is. And after the 5th dimension, it's where we start to feel, aka fell with other spirits, lights. So you created feelings, emotions, and and heavier light bodies, heavier also in comparison with your origin. But those heavier light bodies are your first chakras. So after the 5 comes the 4, right? because you go down and out. You now think, now you communicate, now you express the feelings that you created before. First comes the darkness, then the light. In the fourth dimension, you get closer and even closer to some of the spirits lost with you. Because we judge them, we felt them, we fell with them through your feelings, and we judge the others that didn't fall with us to the fourth dimension. Because you were in the fifth, you were in the sixth altogether. Then, based upon the lights that we were following, if me and you as spirits followed the same lights, we went to the same space in the fifth dimension. If you and me as spirits follow different lights, we would go to different places in the fifth dimension. As well in the fifth dimension, but will be far away. And that process of selection, because you feel them, you fell with them, so you didn't fail with others. So that's like, it's like your spirit chose, but it didn't, because your spirit doesn't think, your spirit doesn't feel, your spirit creates that. But based upon of resonance, of similarity, of preference, of they are vibrating on the similar frequency than you. You fell with them to the five, and then again you judge them, and you fell even lower to an even more restricted group of spirits into the fourth dimension. You get closer to some of the spirits lost with you, because you judge them with your feelings before, and now you think about it and you express it so they can know it. And the others that you didn't come with, you choose, you resonated more with a certain group of spirits. Also, the chakras you created get a bit more dense, and you start to think and externalizing your feelings. More physical. That's a more physical dimension. It's not physical yet, but it's more physical than the fifth. But in comparison to the third, it's not physical. Because after the fourth, I hope you can understand this is a 4, right? I'm gonna put the 4 here. You see, it's like that. It's a 4. Comes the third dimension, where you separate, you go in, and you go out again. But now on a heavier representation. See how the shape of 6 doesn't appear again. You do not do this. You do not go inside and stay focused there. You go inside and outside. That's duality. Inside, outside, cold and hot, hate and love. And here, in the third dimension, is death. Transformation. Death. I hope y'all can understand my writings. I'm trying to save some space. Death. Because now you can see all parts of your creations. Mentalities, emotions, and physicality. And now you can transform. You can transform here. That's the whole point of the third, second, and first dimension. Is to transform, is to change, is to die, not to get stuck. You hear me, you lost motherfuckers, demonic spirits? It's not to get stuck here. It's not to reincarnate here. It's to go away. Learn, die, transform, and go back to your space, bitch. Don't keep you down here longer. So in the third dimension, you got even more lost into an even more close and small group of spirits. And that's your surroundings. Everything you created this far creates more physical versions of themselves. Your light bodies, your chakras creates the physical body. And physical is a physical ally. So this is not hell, you make it hell. People think that Earth is a prison, you make it a prison. People think Earth is a hell, no, you make it a hell. This is supposed to be heaven. Food grows on trees. Bitch, you follow a program that make you think this is hell. No, this is a great lesson here. This is a great school for us to learn to create better, for us to analyze our whole process and see where we can change. It's not a hell, it's not a prison. There is no fall angels here. You can fly again, only if you think you cannot. In the third dimension, you got lost into a more close and small group of spirits, aka your surroundings. Everything you created this far creates more physical versions of themselves. The chakras create the physical body. The physicality is a physical ally. The physical, it's a physical ally. It's the all. You see the all in the physic. All of your creations in the physical shape and form. Okay? And after the third dimension comes the second, where you go out and you go in and you go flat. You separate again. You go out and you go in and you separate. And that's the danger of the third dimension. It's externalizing too much. Because in the second dimension, you get more close within the physical representations of your surroundings, aka you start to relate, like and love people, places and things inside the third dimension, and that are closer and more physical, closer to you, but this is inside the third dimension. So the perspective, it's also how less dense it is, you have more perspective, you have more possibilities. How much denser it is, you have less perspective, you have less possibilities. Okay? So in the second dimension, because you externalized on the end of the third, you start to relate with the physical things around you. You start to love physical things, not internal things. That's the danger of getting stuck on the third dimension. You can spend eons without finding yourself, without loving yourself, because you are loving external things. Ha! My face. Okay? And then comes the first dimension, which you first go high, you think you are all good, you are all right, but then you go down. Then you go down. You see, first you go high, but then you go down. In the first dimension, you get so lost into your own lights, because now your original light, your original shape and form, your original Adam and Eve is long lost. It's not light anymore. It's so heavy, dense, very stuck. In the first dimension, you get so lost that you only perceive your own physicality. And you have long forgotten that you are the spirit you created it all. After that, so that's its individuality. You only perceive yourself. You don't even recognize that the things around you are real. You think you created them, all of them. No, you created all of you. You created all of the things with other spirits. Even your body, you created your body with other spirits. So that's the highest lostness. Highest lostness. That means it's the lowest dimension, the lowest reality. But why we think that's the first one? Because of what comes after. What I like to call dimension 0. After the first dimension is what I like to call the dimension 0, or it's a kind of a hell, or I even like to call it more a reversed 9th dimension. In this dimension, things are so dense and close together and hot that the shapes and forms that you create, it's extremes. It's extremes. Or either it's like the 9th dimension where it's always transforming so you can create a shape and form that lasts, or it gets stuck and you cannot change it forever. Forever, for eons you cannot change. That's the 0 dimension, the reversed 9th dimension. Because it happens the same thing, but on the lost, reversed way. Things are so dense and close together, they are so close, and hot and always transforming that you cannot create a thing. Or if you do, it's something that will tell you that it created you. Here you are so lost in your light that you became aware of nothing again, but in a reverse, lost and demonic way. Because your own creations say that you are nothing. Your own creation says, you don't exist without me. So you are not aware of anything but in a lost, reverted and demonic way. And those are the 9 dimensions for y'all. Here again, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And that's how the numbers, here is how the numbers correlate to the dimensions. How we as spirits did this. We did these moves. We did this. Before we call it numbers, numbers are not numbers. Numbers is a name for something that we call numbers. We did these movements. We did these travels before we were inside these bodies. Before we created these bodies, we did this. These shapes, these forms, these movements, these behaviors, these patterns. We did that. And we gave birth to lights. We gave birth to awareness. We lived that awareness. We experienced that awareness, and then we transform that awareness. All of that, why? For to do it back again. For to do all again, but in a reversed way. That's duality, that's yin and yang. You come down from the 9th dimension as a spirit. No physicality. The physicality just begins on the 3rd dimension. And the objective, the goal of this journey is to bring the knowledge that you acquired here to here. It's to make the jump from the 1st, 2nd and 3rd dimension to the 9th. But there is no quantic jump. You have to do it again. But that's where most spirits get lost in the life again. Because now they are stuck experiencing this. They are stuck experiencing death. That's why they call it the purgatory. That's why they call it hell. But it's not. It's just you got life on death. You are experiencing death all over again. You are afraid of transformating. You don't want to. So you could take one day, but you take eons. But the goal is to reach here with this knowledge, with the vehicle from here. We reach the 9th. Why? Because here we were no thing, but we want to be something. But we don't be to be a restricted, a dense and heavy thing that we have to spend like 80 years on the same body without being able to change it. The only way I can change it is cutting my hair or dyeing my hair or cutting my beard. No, I want to change my feelings, my ideas, how I create. That's the whole lesson of this. And just to recapitulate, the ninth dimension is the first dimension is the ninth. And that's because when you get so lost below the first dimension, you are unaware, you are unconscious. So when you come back to the first dimension, when you come back to awareness, to a low awareness, to a dense awareness, which is the first dimension, you think it's the first light, but it's not. It's not. It's so heavy and dense. It's the last light you created before you went back to the demonic dark, not to the angelic dark. Do you see? Because you went into the dark below the one because you get too much lost. You got too much crazy. You got too much desires. You got too much indulged that you forgot everything. You forgot you were a spirit. You forgot you created mentalities. You forgot you created emotions. You forgot you created physicality, and now you are a slave to your desires, and you are unconscious. You are unaware. So when you come back, when you gain your individuality, that's why one is individuality, because it's when you fit your desires, and now you are individual again. Now I'm in charge again, but you are in charge of the most lostness still. But it's the first dimension, or down here we call it the first dimension, because it's the first light that we see, not create. Is the first light that we see after the reversed ninth dimension. After the demonic dark, after you get so lost into the demiurge, into your urgencies, I have to do it right now, I have to kill this person, otherwise my life will not be the same. Then when you come back to it, when you realize that you are not it, the first light you see is the first dimension. But the first dimension is not the first. The first dimension is a name that we give to that kind of lights. And also, ninth dimension, max expansion, max perspective, no density. First dimension, less perspective, the less expansion, and the most density. Birth, life, and death. Oh, this was a great video. I should have made a live stream, but then I'll get distracted even more. Wow, this was like really, I feel really powerful now. I feel I've learned a lot doing this video as well. Oh, 7 minutes. I think I can do it in 7 minutes. Just to finalize this video, right? I'm going to start now. Shout out to the Soul Group. Shout out to Dolo the Pilot Man for remembering me who I really am and my true power. Shout out to the Soul Group for the marvelous connections we have as well. And now, I'm going to show you on a more intuitive, more natural way how the dimensions work. That's it. That's all. These are the 9 dimensions. As you can see, on the 9th dimension is huge. Everything can happen there. But in comparison, look at the 1st dimension. Nothing can be inside of that small space. You see, that's it. the ninth dimension. And it depends where your awareness starts. If you are remembering right, this is the first dimension to you. If you are coming back from a demonic experience, if you are coming back from being so lost into your desires, this is the first dimension. First dimensions for spirits. Damn it. My writing got all wrong over there. The ninth dimension is the first dimension to spirits. The first dimension is the first dimension to bodies. You see what I'm saying? The first dimension is when you start to pick up your cross, pick up your physical creations, and walk with it to the ninth dimension. But right now, as we speak, in this day and age, those are completely, infinitely incompatible things. This body would burn like hell in the ninth dimension. But I hope you understood this all. I hope this was clear. I hope you remembered something and that you relearned something. Because I did. And as always, I had something to say that I forgot and I can check that feeling. The first dimension is the first dimension to spirits inside of bodies. Do not be any lostness here. So, this is the end of today's esoteric traveling. If you enjoyed, I'm glad for you. Esoteric Cloud Surfer surfing out. Remember to be an individual. Don't let outside programs use your powers, your belief, faith, and imagination for their own agenda. You use your own powers for your own agenda. Alright? So, shout out to the Soul Group. I love you all, for real. I hope to connect even more. Dolo the Pilot Man, I love you. You are a very wise spirit. I thank you all. I thank you, every spirit that helped me go or reach the space where I am right now. Because I'm very thankful for that. So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, I will leave my email down below. Check out my IG, I have paintings like that. And Esoteric Cloud Surfer surfing out. Remember to be an individual, be aware of the tidal waves. They can wash up your spirit to a place where it doesn't belong. And it will start to create shapes and forms to remind you to get the fuck out of here. So, stay well and see you on the next Esoteric Surfing. Esoteric Cloud Surfer, surfing out or in. It depends on your perspective.